Hello, uranium friends. Happy holidays. We're gonna dig into some of these Canadian names, and we're starting it off with fission uranium. Now, fission is one of the stronger names in the space at the moment, as it is above its 200-day average. We are looking at the weekly chart at the moment, but it pulled down. It had this range. Now we kind of know why. There's some strength here because they've got fission 3.0 as part of their um, they're part of their book. So, some efficient 3.0 strength is transferring over here. So this is the weekly chart. So the real fact of the matter is it's had a great move on the weekly, a little bit of a volume climax. We'll probably see that on the daily when we get there. And now we're just kind of just going through some weekly consolidation, which is all very healthy. It's way above this entire EMA stack. You have the 50-day moving average kind of crossing over here over the 200-day. We all know what that's called, right? They call it the Golden Cross. All right. If it goes the other way, it's the Death Cross, where it happened over here. Now it's starting to break over that 200-day moving average. One of the stronger names in the space. And we know why fundamentally. The charts are also telling us the same thing. Just to zoom in on the daily here, yep. So we have a confirmed downtrend at the moment off of this big volume climax, right? So you could see that on a weekly with that upper wick, and then we catch it with that volume on the daily. And right now it's healthy enough consolidation. We just want to make sure that we find this weekly higher low, and how we're going to know that we find this weekly higher low as opposed to 62, 64 cents is, can we start to see the daily make a little bit of a move? So we're going to be looking finally for something like this. We have a big enough pullback to expect a lower high in the next run up. So, let's just say we're working off this double bottom now. You kind of want to see something like this, maybe get up over that 89 cents, get another pullback for a higher low against that double bottom, and then start working its way up. And that's what we're kind of going to want to be looking for with fishing. So right now it's a very strong chart. It's one of the better charts in the space, and we're above all these EMAs. Everything looks good here. So with that, we'll move on over to fishing 3.0. We're on the weekly here, so we all know insane drill results, huge volume move, big move, and we formed a weekly double bottom. Now I've had some interactions. Maybe Eddie Tennyson was one of those guys, and we talked about this as the support. But now we've developed a nice higher support here at 25 cents. Um, we can still get consolidation down into this 12 EMA to this 20 cents area, and it would all be still very healthy. But great looking chart off of that move, off of their stellar drill results. Yeah, and see the daily. I mean, it just had it had some strong, quick consolidation, big drawdown off of this volume, big move, pretty heavy volume, but then it leveled off and it started making its way. So we have a really good, solid support at 25 cents Canadian. And that's what I'll be working off of at the moment for sure. I'd like to see something pull back to 27. I did take a small position down in this range. Um, liquidity in this name and dollar volume, it's a difficult thing to really trade. So for me, it's more of a just trying to build a little bit of a position, and I'll be doing that into this 25-cent range. And I know that I'm going to be in a red flag situation if 20 breaks down. So I mean that's where it's at the moment. Strong chart, fishing strong chart, makes sense. They're kind of tied together. Encore Energy, weekly. It's still just drawing down, but the drawdown is slowing down. It was a pretty big high volume flush. What was that? Yeah, no, early November there. But we're starting to see these lower wicks. It's always a good sign. It means there's some buying support here. So we've kind of identified our short term support level is 284. And on the daily, it's range bound. and it's whipping around a little bit, and that's the deal. You want to tighten up your supports, you can go to 292. To me, the solid support right now is 284, and we can see it on the weekly as basically a double bottom. I mean, if you really want to get nuts, so you could say it's a triple bottom. What is this low? 292, 10 cents. You can just say it's a weekly double bottom here. But, there's nothing overly special about the action here. We have not seen a true momentum shift. It's just kind of, down, sideways, down, sideways. You need to start to see that kind of change. But for the moment, that's where Encore is at. It had a pretty good day on Friday, right? It took out, did it take out that Thursday high? What do we got here? 29, 29. So a double top to the penny there. And that's it. We're in this range. 284 is like, for me, the key spot. I am in position here. I wouldn't mind adding if we can come back down here and test maybe, or even add it to test over here. We'll see how it plays out with everything else. The weekly on base load, it's just it's constant pressure. There's no real signs of anything changing momentum wise on the weekly, other than the fact that we've had a little ramp up in volume and we are putting in a little bit of a hammer here. So, you know, do these candlestick patterns always work out where that hammer is going to be the big reversal? No, they don't. But, it's something to look at. At least we're starting to see that there's some support building, and it kind of double bottoms here at 40 cents, right? So yeah, I mean it's close, but there's nothing special about that weekly chart, right? So this is just a constant, and even if there is any buying pressure that kind of starts to show up, immediately knocked down. So base load is the chart is telling you there's an issue. Look how far away it is from the 200-day as compared to Fission, which is well above. So that's the deal on the weekly. The daily has a little bit of a better sign happening, right? So you could say, we've got a little bit of a reversal here because it took out all of these highs the previous 4 days, and it's kind of starting to hold. And it looks like there's a little bit of a change. It's not enough for me to say anything at the moment. It's a little bit of a bull flag here, and we just need to see the retracement size. So with this type of move, it could be that the next pullback results in a higher low, but I don't see anything really special about this move here. We saw something similar up here, and it just continued to roll over. So, as long as this is what we call an EMA rider, right? So every time it comes anywhere near this 12 EMA, it's just rejection. So the one slight change that we've seen here is that it kind of got over it, and now it's using it as support. So are we just going to get another hard rejection for another leg down? Because really, that's all these things are doing, right? So you get these nice bounces, and they cool off the oversold conditions, right? So you have your oversold conditions here. You got your bounce. It cooled that RSI, and it proceeded to just drill back down again. So we kind of had the same situation. You have your oversold bounce, and we want to see if it does just the same exact thing it did over here with this RSI. Is it just cooling the flag to make another leg down? I don't know. Um, the action will dictate how that plays out. Global Atomic, a weekly chart, is put in its weekly inside bar this week. Actually, double weekly inside bar. Um, Not much else to say. We do have a nice double weekly bottom at 326, so it's really it's a decent level to be working off of. So you kind of have your stop area support in place where you want to maybe work off of. It's a monthly double bottom as well. Cool. Yeah, the 200-day average, we're much closer, right? So, and we're kind of continuing to test it, but it's really just it gets over and it just rejects. It's more like this 50-day on the weekly is rejecting. So let's take a look at the daily. We'll zoom in a little bit more and see if there's anything that can, yeah, so it's got a higher low here. So this 334, but that doesn't do anything for us until we get up and over 375 and kind of hold that. So we are starting to see some low wicks, so there is a little bit of buying pressure going on. Not a lot. There's not a lot of volume here, and it's just really just a range bound play, but it's still in a downtrend. It's kind of, at least it's kind of, if it can hold this 334 and get above this 365. Is that the high here? Just be exact. 364. If you can get above that 364 while holding 334, well, then you got a little bit of a dinky daily trend change. So it's a nice little sign. On the 2-day chart, yeah, it's the same deal. It's just there's no real true clarity here either. That's it. All eyes on 364 right now and 334 on Global Atomic. GoVX weekly, again, it's just there's just nothing positive really to say about this chart in this intermediate term, right? So again, these pullbacks are met with a little bit of buying and consolidation to cool things off a little bit into the next leg down, more range bound, next leg down, range bound, starting to, it looks like it's starting to do yet another next leg down, but we'll see. Let's take a quick look at the daily. Yeah, the daily's the same deal. It's EMA riding down. It's got that 12 EMA. This one more is really rejecting at the 26 EMA, which is that blue line. And we're just gonna wait to see what it's doing. Sideways right now. Doesn't have my interest. ISO on the weekly. Yeah, same deal. I mean, it's just legging down, consolidating, and legging down again. Let me just take a look at the monthly here if we can identify. Yeah, we're looking for this monthly higher low, and this, we're hoping that that's actually going to end up what it is. I'm going to put a mark here for my own purposes. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm going to be looking to see. Does this 267 hold on the monthly as our monthly higher low? Let's hope that it does, but nothing indicates that it will on the weekly, because it's still making lower lows every week, lower highs and lower lows every week here. So until that pattern breaks and starts to turn around is when we'll start to see some, maybe get a little bit of a thought process that maybe the tides are turning. So now you look at the daily here, and you could take some positive spin out of this, but it's nothing special yet, really. But that at least we can see there's a little bit of a tide change here. So you've had a decent amount of buying up in last week, and it's regained that 12 EMA and is now using it as support. So lower wicks, first small good sign, increased volume here, and nice to see even the third day after that move, the volume increased a little bit more there. So you've got again, I have another area of support that I can be working off of if I choose to position up here. This is another low float, and this thing whips you around also. But you know, at least there is some buying going up here. So bottom line, Fission and Fission 3.0 are just leading the charge, and they're just blowing everybody else out of the water at the moment. Happy holidays all. Over and out.